Hello YouTube, 87 Ricer here. So I'm just gonna do a little chit chat. I'm at the delivery. I'm at my delivery that I'm supposed to be here at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So there's been videos where I show this company's name. It's the company I drive for. They are the company I drive for. They've been nothing but good to me. So a little backstory about this is, so I've always loved driving, and I wanted to make money driving. And I didn't think I was going to be a truck driver. It never came to mind as being a truck driver. So, because I didn't think I was smart enough to do that. But there was people who believed in me, said, yeah dude, you ought to be a truck driver, you can do it. And I said, no, I can't do that. Here I am. I studied for my CDL, went and took the written tests, and it took me a few times to pass it, but I passed. Got my written tests taken care of, passed them, went out, showed my former job that, hey, I'm taking this driving experience seriously and that I may just go ahead and start driving. I didn't know where I was going to drive, but I had an idea because a friend that I used to work with, he actually drove for this company first, and seeing the videos, seeing the stuff that he was, seeing all the places that he was driving to, really encouraged me. And I was asking him questions, and he was answering them. And I had a friend that I actually lived just down the row, a few trailers down from, and he was a truck driver, and he was, always giving me tips and advice. And I told him about this company, and he said, yeah man, he goes, I would do it before it snows, because he said his brother went to the same company, or his brother-in-law went to the same company, and they failed him in the test because it was snowing out that day, and the truck slid in the ice or whatever when they were doing the test, and they docked him, and he didn't get to drive for him. So, I was nervous because, it made it, I thought I wasn't going to make it. So, the year 2020 comes along. Everybody knows what was starting to happen then. The COVID shit was going on. It still is, but it's just really starting to take off. I was really considering trying to, go for driving. So I called up this company and I told them I was interested. They asked me if I had my permit at least. I said, yes, I do have my permit. I passed that, and I was able to sign up and get ready for their classes. I took it serious, took it to heart. I had to have a down payment for a class so I could have a place to stay. So during the week, I was in school, and during the weekend I went home. But I started school in June of 2020, and that is when I started at the school. So June of 2020 is when I started at this school, and it's a 5-week course, and if you pass your tests at the end of everything, then you go over the road with a trainer for another 4 to 5 weeks, depending on if they think you need extra time to learn. Me, I started riding with a trainer June, right about July, a little bit after 4th of July 2020, and I started driving right about the middle of August on my own. After 5.5 weeks, I kind of did an extra week just to make sure that I was good, and my trainer had a lot of confidence in me, and that's how I passed the driving test afterwards, after I rode with my trainer. And so fast forward, it's 2022. I've been with this company for 2 years. It's hard to believe, but I've been with them for 2 years, and I really enjoy driving. I love driving, and like I said, this company has been nothing but good to me. They gave me the thing was, when you pass, you drive for them, you do 1 year, 100,000 miles. Now, I was worried about, at first I was worried that I was going to be stuck on like a 2 or 3 year agreement with them, but that wasn't the case. The deal was 1 year, 100,000 miles. I hit my 100,000 mile mark way before I hit my 1 year, and they had me in I think it was a 2015. I think they had me in a 2015 Peterbilt at the beginning of it. This is a 2021 Freightliner. Last year, or actually not last year. Yeah, towards the beginning of last year, 2021, is when I really got switched into the new truck. There's not one truck in their fleet that is their entire fleet is now anything from 2020 to 2019 to 2021. Yeah, that's it. 2019 to 2021. They don't have anything old anymore. They got rid of all their old trucks, and so yeah. So they got me in a new truck, and I learned very quick, this is not a job, this is a lifestyle. I've had one scare. I almost quit driving this year back in August, just before Bike Fest. I was just about ready to quit because I got pulled into the weigh station, and believe me, the weigh stations always give me they always make my asshole pucker, because I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. I try my best to make sure that the trucks and trailers are fine when I'm driving, and I'm always checking them, and I always do walk arounds just to make sure I don't hear any hissing or anything. But the weigh station pulled me in and said, "Come on inside." Well, I went inside, and he said, "You're 200 something, you're like 250 pounds overweight on your trailer. If you slide the tandems to the back a little farther, you'll be set." Now, I'm used to I've been used to this yellow mark. I've been used to keeping my tandems right in these two spots, or right in the yellow, but usually right there and there, every now and again there, especially now. But after that, so he said, "You move it to the back a little bit, you'll be good." And then he said, $800 ticket. Till you pay it, you can't leave. So when he said $800 ticket, I said, "What the fuck? $800?" I was bawling. I cried my eyes out. I'm not gonna kid you. I cried because scared to. That was I wasn't sure how I was gonna pay that. I knew how I was gonna pay it. It was gonna have to come out of the checks little by little, but I was ready to quit driving right after that, because I was like, you know what, I hate not in a bad way, I hate in a good way. I don't like way stations because they scare me. They scare me. That and winter driving. I hate winter driving. Don't like driving. I can handle winter driving, but I don't like driving a big truck in the winter. Yes, it's got weight to it, but you can also lose control of a big truck with a lot of weight just as easily as you can a car. And so between way stations, not knowing what the hell they're gonna do when they pull you in, if they're gonna slap you with a fine or give you some reason that you can't move because you gotta, I know that for a fact there was one truck that came in after me, and they pulled him in because he was low on air in just one of the tires on his trailer, and they were able to tell. And so when he pulled in, you know, they said everything was fine, but you got low air in that one tire. So they can tell everything. So that always scares me every time a way station flags me red. Hate it. Don't like it. Never have. And driving in the winter because, you know, snow, wherever there's snow, there's ice. It's gonna melt, and if it's cold enough, it's gonna freeze. It's ice. So where there's snow, there's ice. Even if they're not calling for ice, it's ice. That's how I see it. Snow melts, turns to liquid, freezes, ice. So where there's snow, there's ice. I hate driving in the snow. Don't like it. But they do every year, you know, and every so many days they make us do tests on our phones, and we do like little videos, and we answer questions at the end of them. And but when it comes to tire chains, you put on this truck. See how the tread's a little bit low on this one and not so much on this one. Okay, so you put the tire chains, put your tire chains on this side, and then on the other side, put it on that side, because that side's going to be lower than the front. So I'll show you. See, because this tire gets used, or these tires get used, those ones don't. So tire chain goes on this tire on the passenger side, and on the driver's side it goes on okay, yeah, it is this side. Never mind, I thought it was this side, but it's this side. So on this side, but I honestly I thought it was from, you know, this on the back. But I mean, either way, all I gotta do is ask. I'm almost positive it's that side and not that one, but I'll recheck. That's why they train us. I gotta go and do the tire chain test. They train you how to put the tire chains on in the parking lot, you know, get you back up to par. But yeah, so that's a little bit about this. I show videos about the truck, or I just show videos of the truck. I don't really much say of anything else. But the cool story was I had 2 hiccups not long into driving. Shit happens. They didn't, you know, they had me go to a small little course where I had to practice backing up a few times. But one of the guys in that class that was getting ready to go on the road, he recognized me. He's like, "Hey, are you 87er on Instagram?" And I said, "Yeah, I actually am." He goes, "The only reason why I found out about Witte was because of your photos on Instagram." Now, that was pretty cool that he recognized me from Instagram and the photos I posted on Instagram under the name 87er. But I got locked out of that account. Can't get back in it. So I made a new one called Crazy Good 87. But that guy was able to find out about Witte because of stuff that I was posting. They didn't have the Instagram when I was in school. They had, you know, social media on Facebook, but they didn't have the Instagram. So I guess when he told them how he found out about them, You know, they started doing Instagram. And so, yeah. And I'm sure they've seen my videos on YouTube, because I only seen a few videos of Witte brothers before I started driving for them, and they're good videos. But I think I'm not gonna say for sure, but I think I put out just a few more videos than they do by a little bit. I'm not gonna say it's not a competition, but their name's out there. I helped a little bit. But one thing about these, okay, so this is a trailer load. On trailer loads, when I get to the yard, if there's a tag on it, I'm not allowed to open it up. So hopefully, whatever's in there, hopefully nothing happened during the time that I was driving. Hopefully none of the shit fell over and caused that to be a big mess. Because when I go there, if this is on it, I am not allowed to open it. I'm not allowed to break that seal. Can't. However, we have our own seals. If I felt like for some reason that the shit inside got knocked over and stuff, we have tags of our own to put on there, and then we have to put that tag number on the paperwork and explaining why the original tag was replaced with one of ours. So if, like, for instance, if I was in a heavy traffic jam and I slammed on the brakes really hard and all the shit in there shifted, you know, you go to open up the doors and you got a mess. Sometimes you want to check. You're like, oh shit, did I just cause a huge mess in there? You might feel like checking it. However, I've not really had too many problems. I've had one situation last year just before Bike Fest, and I'm talking 2021, just before Bike Fest. There was God, I want to say there was like 20, 30 pallets on this trailer. Maybe not that many, but there was enough. So it was all called 15ers or 12ers, but it was beer. It was cases of beer. I had to restack 17, almost 18 pallets by myself because they all shifted. Not all of them fell over, but they shifted because one of the pallets way up front, a can exploded, and I was going through the Rocky Mountains coming back from Sparks, Nevada, when that shit happened. I felt the trailer move, and I was like, oh shit, you know, I hope nothing bad happened in it. And it wasn't until I got to the distribution center over in Illinois that they said, hey, you gotta restack the stuff that tipped over. And I said, it all tipped over? And he goes, yeah, all of it. But when I went in there, you know, I had to redo 18 pallets. They were 10 layers, or 10 cases per layer. 10 layers high. Yeah. 18 pallets of that I restacked. It sucked. My back was hurting for a month after that shit. That was the biggest workout I had after that. Like, that was the biggest workout I have had since I've been driving. I've had one blowout, and I didn't even realize I had a blowout. See, totally didn't know. I had a guy the day before pointing at me, trying to ask me if I wanted to get over in the next lane, but I had my window up, and I thought maybe he was just wanting me to get over in the next lane. I didn't think much of it. I really didn't. I didn't hear anything, but one of the tires, one of those tires was not on this trailer. We have many trailers. Obviously that one's a spare because there's yellow around it. That's a spare. So somebody had a blowout on this one too. But seen the guy pointing. I thought he was asking if I wanted to get over. I said, no, I'm good in my lane. Stupid me. I didn't realize he was trying to tell me that I had a blowout. I drove. And it wasn't until that next, it wasn't until the next stop that I pulled over and I realized, oh shit, I've got a blowout. When I went to go walk around the trailer at the end of the night, doing my walk around, I seen it. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, luckily there was a Love's 10 miles down the road, and the trailer, it was on that side. It was on the passenger side. There was a state trooper in the center of the interstate, facing the side that I was on. And so luckily when I went by him, he didn't see it. And when I went back the other way towards the Love's, he didn't see it. So I made it to Love's. They took the spare off the back of the truck and they put it on, and I was good to go. But yeah, that's the spare. That's how I know that one on the back of the trailer is spare. These trailers, they can get down to -20. They can go down to -20. So it gets cold in that fucking trailer. Nobody is gonna live in that. If you did happen to lock somebody in there, they're not gonna survive. They're gonna freeze to death. Period. But I heard a story from my trainer about one of his buddies. Not for this company, but one of his buddies was driving for another company, and the air conditioner on his truck wasn't working correctly. And he was out in like Arizona or something like that. And so he messed with the air conditioner unit, dropped it down to the temperature he was comfortable with, grabbed his blanket and a mattress, and slept in the back of the trailer where the air conditioning is. And it worked. I mean, shit, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, so I'm at Domino's in Kentucky, and yeah, so I figured I would make a video of the company I drive for, kind of give a little history of how I started driving. I know it's a long video, probably not going to want to hear the whole damn thing, but I figured I would at least explain why I show occasional videos of me driving and videos of the truck. This explains why I show those videos, because I drive for the company, and like I said, they take care of me. They have never done me wrong. I like them. I want to say they're a really good company to work for, or drive for, so to speak. They're a good company to drive for. I like them. They treat me well. They don't look at you as numbers. They know you by name. There's not a lot of drivers for the company, so they remember you by name. I've never felt like a number to them, and they worked with me. They trained me. I drive for them. This is a lifestyle. It's not a job. I love driving. I love driving. But like I said, I hate way stations, and I hate driving in the snow. That's the biggest two things that I hate about driving, especially in a truck: way stations and snow. But people up northeast, they know how to keep their shit clean. Even in the middle of a blizzard, they are salting that fucking shit down. They know their stuff. Everybody up north that gets hit with snow, they know how to keep their shit clean. Those roads are no issues. Up northeast, towards north Minnesota, people out west like Kansas, Iowa, They don't have no trees out there to block all this shit. They don't have mountains to block shit. They got hills and open prairie everywhere. So when it snows, they're trying their best. But I've not wanted to drive. I told this company I'm not driving out west. I have seen more tire chain requirements out west than I ever have coming northeast. I've never had any problems with needing to use tire chains up northeast, but I've seen lots and lots of tire chain requirements out west past Kansas. Well, past Kansas City, going out towards California on 70 and 80, you know, because there's nothing there to keep all that snow from covering the highways. I'm not saying they can't keep their roads clean, but there's nothing to really help them. So when it snows, it fucking snows, and then you're required to use tire chains. And I told the company, I'm not doing that. I won't drive out there. Don't send me out that way. I'd rather go up towards New York area and those locations, because those people, they keep the road clean. I've never had to use tire chains. Thankfully I've never had to use tire chains. But as long as I keep driving, as long as there's a deal, as long as my heart allows me to drive, and as long as I feel like driving, maybe at some point I might have to use tire chains, but so far I haven't. Like I said, I've only been doing this for 2 years. I've enjoyed getting to see the country, and this is what pays for the stuff that I have. For my bad habits, motorcycles, cars, buying shit, selling shit. You know, it pays for my habits. It takes care. It pays for everything that I need for my family. So it, you know, it just works. It works. So I'm gonna stop it here. If you listened to the whole video, thank you. If you didn't, I don't blame you. But 87 Ricer out. Peace.